I wasn't home one night washing my dishes. This is how I wash my dishes, by the way. As I'm doing so, my work cell phone rings. And I have to tell you one thing. If my work cell phone rings, it's typically not for a good reason. It's not someone calling me because I won the lottery or a gift that's coming my way. It's probably because something bad just happened. Something really bad. You see, I'm a licensed professional counselor. And in addition to that, I'm a crisis negotiator as a police officer. In this capacity, I've been involved with numerous incidents that involve folks that might be going through suicidal behaviors, ideations, going through a very difficult time in their life, a personal crisis. And sometimes these folks need support. And in this capacity, again, I have met so many different individuals at different levels in their life. Now, I have to say, however, that not every incident, when people are presenting with a crisis, involves individuals that are experiencing or exhibiting suicidal ideations or behaviors. Sometimes it could be my 9-year-old complaining about how many chocolate chips are in his cookie. The one thing, however, that I've come to learn in any crisis that we see is that there's a common denominator in peacefully being able to resolve this matter. And I'm going to give you that secret today. It's active and compassionate listening. It doesn't matter the trainings, it doesn't matter the abilities, the talents that any of us possess. If we don't activate our active and compassionate listening, it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to truly connect with another human being, especially when they're in a moment of crisis. Businesses today struggle to keep a cohesive culture within their teams because this very concept. We're not able to listen to one another. I like being listened to. All of you here like being listened to. And many make the argument, well, listening actively, it's a soft skill. Not even close. I make the argument on a regular basis, it is the opposite of that. That is the connection to the human soul. Communities are divided nowadays because our inability to listen to the other side and being willing to consider something different than our own. Families are broken apart because of that. I remember a particular incident when one of my fellow negotiators calls me to come and assist with a situation that he's working with out on the field. I arrive on scene and I meet with this person and he tells me, Nacho, I've been doing active listening and nothing seems to be working. I could see the frustration in his face and I equally was perplexed. Well, how is that possible? How could that be? You and I have sat in the same training, gone through the same conferences, listened to the same messages, and how could that be? Well, this is the reason why. He was not able to connect with this young person in a moment of need because we don't do active listening. We are active listening. If you don't take those teachings, those skills, those abilities, and integrate them to your heart, into your soul, into that thing in your core that makes you go, it's going to be very difficult to those skills to appear genuine and transparent. It won't work. So let me take a step back. I take the risk on this night, and I answer that phone call, knowing really well what's about to be said. On the other end is my supervisor, and he says, Nacho, we're currently working on a situation. There's a barricaded subject. He's making threats against himself, threats against others, and he will only talk to you and only you. We need you. Well, how humbling it is for you to call me at night, Lieutenant. I'll be right there. I immediately get ready, and to be frank with you right now, I was very frustrated by that phone call. I would much rather be washing dishes than go out on the call. And I never thought I would say that out loud, and I just did. So I drive down to the scene, and immediately I'm met with what's called controlled chaos. I can hear the sirens of the emergency vehicles coming to the scene. I see the lights of the squad cars reflecting against the houses on that empty street. And soon after, I'm guided to the front door where this individual is at. I look into the home. I see this person holding a knife, acknowledges me, and calls me by my name. I thought, I'll be here 30 minutes max. Then I'll go home, back to what I was doing. That was mistake number one. I feel nothing is changing. I'm trying to be empathetic. I'm trying to convey trust. I'm trying to all these things. Nothing is working. Soon after, I feel being pulled by the back of my belt. This is happening to me now. And I'm wondering, well, I'm not done negotiating. I need to continue on. What I was failing to see was that this person was getting closer to me with the knife in hand. Very dangerous situation, of course. Not long after that, I find myself across the street, behind a tree, completely disengaged from the situation. Now it becomes a tactical response. Person comes out, keeps yelling for my name, uses a lot of colorful language. How dare you abandon me? All of these things are happening. And now I'm looking at a picture that could be replicated by a Hollywood movie. The individual is making threats, is raising up hands, yelling, using profane language, all of these things. And I feel I have no control of the situation whatsoever. Eventually, the individual, because of the threats that were being made and what was happening with getting closer to the other officers, ends up getting impacted on the lower body or lower part of his body with a rubber bullet. Naturally, the pains creates for him to fall to the floor, gets up, runs back into the house, slams the door, we lose all connection. I can tell you this. This was probably one of the most defeating moments for me that I can recall. I was heartbroken. I felt defeated. I felt as if I had let not only my team down, but I had let this person down as well. The reason why that was happening, I felt that defeat because I felt as if I was not present, I wasn't there for him, and I let everyone down. I made an intentional decision at this point. I said to myself, and I said it out loud, I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to call him back. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to take ownership of what I didn't do, and then I'm going to make this right. By the end of this night, all of us are going home safe. And we did. Now, I learned a couple of things from here that I want to share with all of you. You don't have to be a counselor. You don't have to be a crisis negotiator. You simply have to be a human being to be able to apply these concepts to your day-to-day as you interact with others. Number one, you must create a space of emotional safety. Physical safety is important. However, if you don't feel emotionally safe that you can be changed by the other story, that you can be influenced by what the other person has to say, and be vulnerable in those moments, it's going to be very difficult for you to connect with that person. You won't be able to establish rapport or trust. Emotional safety is extremely, extremely important. Number two, focus in the present moment. Those external lights, those external noises, those thoughts that keep running in our mind, they have got to be put to the side. They don't matter right now. What matters is this moment. Not to scare all of you, but think of it this way. Out of everything that is happening in our lives right in this moment, all that we can control is this spot here. That is it. So when we are working with someone, when we are listening with compassion to someone, all of that needs to be put to the side so we can truly be focused and present in the moment. Number three, embrace your own emotional response to the situation. There is no way that I can listen to someone else's story and not being impacted by it. When we truly are making a connection, I want for that story to create curiosity in me. I want for that story to challenge my own thoughts, to challenge my own judgments, my own assumptions of the individual. If I feel angry, if I feel frustrated, if I feel anything, any emotion, I have to acknowledge that. I have to accept it, and I have to appreciate it. Number 4, you don't have to be the fixer. Many times when we meet people and we are trying to listen to them, we always want to fix things for them, especially when people are in pain, emotional pain. The natural instinct in us, I want to rid you of that pain. I want to make things easier for you. We have to understand that is not my journey to walk. That's their healing process. My role, my responsibility is to listen to it, to appreciate that story, and take it into my heart and leave it there, not to fix the problem. I'll give you a tidbit here. We like to give a lot of advice. If you find me afterwards, I'll give you advice myself. However, I'll give you something here. If someone ever needs your advice, it's going to sound like this. Can you please give me some advice? If you are not hearing those words, you might not want to give advice. So just to recap those 4 points, again, create a space of emotional safety. That is important. If you don't establish that, it's going to be very difficult for you to make a connection. Stay in the present moment. This is what matters. Right? Number 3, we want to appreciate and embrace your own emotional response. And then make sure, truly make sure that you embrace everything that is happening in this moment right now, that you love everything that is going on in this exact moment, and that will liberate everything else that is going on. Now, I want to say this. You all have the opportunity today to truly change the world. We might not be able to change the whole world. I believe, however, that as long as we change one person's world, we've done what we can do. We control what we can control. There is nothing more beautiful, there is no better gift than being able to be that mirror for someone when they give us their story. Nothing more beautiful than that. So remember, you can be that mirror for someone else.